Hi, this is Sarah of Sarah Q Geist DPT Myofascial Release. Today we're going to be doing a release for the pelvic floor muscles. So the pelvic floor muscles are what make up the bottom of the pelvis, or the pelvic bowl as a lot of people call it. So we're talking about the muscles that go from the pubic bone right in the front of the pelvis, the tailbone at the base of the sacrum, and then what we call the ischial tuberosities, or they refer to them as the sits bones on either side of basically your bum, kind of what you sit on. So if you think about it, those four bony areas, the pubic bone in the front, tailbone in the back, ischial tuberosities on either side, kind of make up a diamond shape. And within that diamond shape, you have a bunch of muscles that run in different directions, front to back, side to side. A lot of them kind of cross over the middle in the area called the perineum, so the area right between the vagina and the anus in women, between the testicles and the anus in men. There's a lot of musculature that crosses over that area, and so that becomes a really important area when we're looking at the pelvic floor. And when you're sitting with good posture, that perineum is really the center of the base of your pelvis. So reasons that you may need to do a pelvic floor release is any type of pelvic pain. This can be helpful. So if you have any kind of pain either in the glutes, in the piriformis, in the sacrum, the SI joints, the front of the pelvis, tightness in the psoas, probably a good sign that you have some holding within your pelvic floor muscles. You definitely don't want to be doing this if you've given birth within the last 6 weeks. You want to really allow that area to heal and replenish, and even after 6 weeks, I would say if you've given birth within the last 4 or 5 months, talk to a pelvic floor physical therapist before you do this technique. And you know, people with prolapse, I think that there's definitely some place for this. I would say go a little bit more cautiously if you have any kind of pelvic organ prolapse. And, you know, but really everyone should be going cautiously. You should be really paying attention to what you're doing and feeling what you're doing. And if at any point it doesn't feel right to you, back off a little bit. And if that still doesn't feel right to you, then stop. And reassess and maybe see if you can figure out a more gentle way to get into this release. If you have any questions or comments, please definitely leave a message below, or you can always message me directly if that feels more comfortable for you. So you're going to be using the 4-inch Sport Time All Ball with this. If you have one, great. If you don't have one, pause this and watch my video on how to create a self-release ball from socks. And you're going to take it and you're going to want to sit on a chair that is fairly stable, I guess. You know, you don't necessarily want it to be firm. If this is an area that's really tender for you, doing it on something a little bit softer is great, but you want to make sure that you can get your feet on the ground and kind of really be firmly supported. So, you know, you definitely don't do it on your bar stool, okay? So you're going to take this ball, and basically what you're doing is you're shooting to get the ball in between those 4 bony areas. So if you're unsure of those, you can kind of go from side to side, shift your weight side to side on your pelvis, shift your weight forward and backward, do what we call a pelvic tilt, so that your weight is forward and you're kind of rounded, and your weight is backwards and your back is kind of arched. And what you're looking to feel is those 4 bony areas. The sits bones on either side of the bum, the pubic bone at the very front, and you can kind of feel that with your fingers too. Just kind of work your way down through the pelvis, front of the pelvis, pushing fairly deeply, depending on how much soft tissue you have there, and you're looking to feel that bone, and then the tailbone right in the back, which is kind of right where the crease of the bum is, the kind of top area of that. So you're going to go ahead and place the ball on the chair, kind of where you expect the center of your pelvis to land, and then slowly and cautiously lower your weight onto it. If that feels like too much, then what you're going to want to do is find yourself a softer place to sit. So my nice little cozy seat here. I'm going to give it a go on this one instead. So same idea, place it on the chair and then slowly lower yourself down. That feels a lot better. You can't see me, so I'm not going to stay here, but you're looking for a place with the right amount of pressure so that you can really kind of soften yourself onto this. If you're holding yourself up, then you need to find something softer to sit on. So once you've found an appropriate place for you to do this, then what you're going to do is you're just going to let yourself lower down onto it completely and really allow yourself to feel the sensations that you're feeling there. A lot of us aren't really aware of this part of our body unless there's a problem there, or if we're having sex, or if we're giving birth. Maybe if we're going to the bathroom, we're aware of it, but most of the time, unless there's a problem, we're just kind of waiting for it to do its thing, right? So this is a really good opportunity for you to start to feel into this part of your body and start to notice what's there. If you're having trouble feeling anything here, that's okay too. A lot of times people really have a hard time connecting in with this area, and so if you're having a hard time feeling what's there, then maybe you need to go onto a firmer sitting surface. The other thing that you can do is, if you're having a hard time, just kind of shift your weight a little bit and notice how the weight changes forward, backwards, side to side. If you're sitting on this ball and you're feeling like, oh, okay, there is something there for me to relax, then what you want to do is you want to focus in on the sensations, and you want to focus on really allowing and accepting those sensations into your body. Especially for females, this area, the pelvic floor, has a really amazing ability to allow things to enter it, allow things to leave it. And so you want to cultivate and you want to allow yourself to have that possibility and that potential. We get a lot of messaging in our society that this area should be strong, that this area should be tight, and really this area should be supple. This area should be able to contract, but it also needs to be able to relax and release. So both of those components of the pelvic floor muscles are really important. So this is a good time to help you get in touch with that relaxing, that opening, that allowing side of the pelvic floor. So as with all of these releases, you should be hanging out for about 3 to 5 minutes and really allowing yourself to be with the process, feel the sensations, feel any emotions that are coming up for you, as long as you're able to tolerate them. If you feel like there are things coming up for you that you're not able to tolerate, then you've reached a barrier that's not going to work for you, and you need to come off of it and ask for some help from somebody. So feel free to do that. So again, softening, relaxing, feeling, 3 to 5 minutes. As long as you can stay connected with the process, you're able to go for longer than that, but you don't want to force yourself to go for longer than that. This is also a nice place to start to allow some of that unwinding to occur. So you never should be feeling like you're holding your body still, and you never should be feeling like you're making your body move. This is not getting onto the ball and rolling back and forth, rolling up and down. This is allowing your body to start to move how it wants to move and allowing anything to release that needs to. So again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please message me or leave them below. My teachers always said in PT school, if you have a question, somebody else has a question. So if you're willing to be vulnerable and put it below, I'm sure it will help somebody else too. Hope you all are staying well. Take care.